Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again, it's Insurance Talk with Priest Insurance Agency. This was the second take. I think that says take one.
Yeah, we have a new thing for
Yeah,
all
we've
of
got a new clicker in here. We were talking about some changes last week, and we had a change actually right after Christmas. We had a tornado,
did.
and it came through, and luckily, if it would have been 10 or 12 miles to the south on its path that it took, it could have gone straight down Bolivar Peninsula, and it would have been ugly. But let's talk about windstorm. What's happening with it?
Windstorm there's no real new landscapes. They've had changes in the board of directors. It's a new season, new political makeup. We'll see what that happens in August when that rolls around, when those meetings start to occur. But in talking about windstorm, it's part of, when we sit on the coast, it's part of the triad of coverages, meaning your homeowner's policy, the wind policy, and the flood policy. And in Tier 1 counties, which is any county that's in wind speak, Tier 1 is any county that touches the coast.
Right.
So Galveston County clearly is one of those counties, Jefferson County, Chambers County. Orange County's not, strangely enough. People would think
Really?
it is. No, it's not. It's a Tier 2.
Really?
Yeah, it's not part of the wind pool. So anytime that happens and you have an event, whether it's a hurricane or the tornado event, the windstorm policy is going to jump in. So your homeowners really isn't going to play in. Most likely your flood on a tornado, and it'll come in on hurricane possibly. So windstorm is important. So the windstorm policy is going to put your house back, assuming you have it insured correctly, to what you had before.
Right.
Okay. So one of those coverages that's in there that oftentimes gets overlooked, and we've touched on it before, is increased cost of compliance or construction. So if something has changed, like for example, if you have a window that was rated for a certain amount and it might have cost $300, well, we can put that window back for that, but the code may have changed.
Right. Now you've got to have something
That's bigger and better, which without ICC, that covers that gap. So you can, if you don't have that coverage, it's an elective coverage, and possibly if you have a brand new house today, you don't need it, or one that's done before a code change. But if your house was built pre-I, maybe 2005 or 2010, even beyond that, there have been many things that have changed. So ICC may become a big portion of it. And it can represent up to maybe 15% of your premium. So it's not.
That's what was my next question is, what's the cost?
So if you have and so it comes in different, good, better, best. The 8-ounce can of tomato sauce versus the big 16 or 32. Yeah. So you can buy it as a 5% of your dwelling amount. So if you have $100,000 in coverage, you might can buy $5,000 in ICC, up to $25,000 or 25%. And each of those carries a little different price point. But let's just call it 15%. So if your windstorm premium is $2,000, one of the packages, if you're thinking buying ICC, might cost you an additional 15% of $2,000 or $350.
Right.
Is that right? $300.
$300.
Yeah, $300. Math used to be better than it is now.
I was going to say. Is it something that a lot of people overlook, or is it something that they just tend not to look towards because they think, I won't need that?
So both. And so, oftentimes when people are buying a house and it's new and it's a price point, because I want to get in, I need to get my insurance as
right.
cheap as possible. The windstorm policy doesn't come with that. Okay? So all insurance looks the same until you need it. Well, I have this windstorm policy that has a 2% deductible for $300,000 and it's $2,000 a year, or this one that looks the same, but it's $2,400 a year. Most people are going to gravitate to that lower price point,
right?
Just simply because they're trying to save some money on when they're buying.
But they haven't looked at the makeup.
They don't know in the event of the eventuality, because they will one day need that wind policy to step in, and if they, under some circumstances, not all, that may be a very important part of their coverage to be able to put their house back. Because let's say you have reality is most houses down here, let's say a $500,000 house. So you have a 2% deductible and it costs you $10,000. to start, or a 3%, it's 15. Well, a roof is 25, right, or thereabouts. I'm just throwing numbers out there. If you have an ICC part of that, you have your deductible. Your roof may be a portion. You may have a hidden deductible there that ICC would normally cover. So it is important to know what you have. It is also important to understand what your deductible ranges are. And sometimes in a big loss, we would talk to you about going from that $10,000 deductible to maybe a $15,000 deductible to lower the premium to pay for the ICC.
Right.
Okay? Because that may, at least your finite cost there. Mm-hmm. It's not arbitrary.
Is there, after a house gets so old, mm-hmm. is there a time when people really need, if your house is 10 years or older, is there a time, or should they look at what things have changed since they built their house?
Well, it's really kind of us. If someone is building a new house, we talk to them about ICC, but we're going to revisit that. And our clients now that we're just around Ike time bills, mm-hmm. we're advising them
to look at.
We're making sure that they have that on their policies. It's important for those houses.
Yeah, because 2008, they built it in 2009.
A house built last year, it is optional.
Right.
It may not really come into play, and it's an elective thing, and that's up to them. But at some point, we have to start making those recommendations, and certainly any house before 2010.
Great. Well, like I always say, even just to look at your policy, or if you have any questions, whether you get hold of Dan or one of the girls in the office, all of them are very knowledgeable on the coastal region. Mm-hmm. He's got years and years of history and actually family down here. He's been through Ike. They know what it takes to get back, what you need to get back to. And so make sure you give them a call and let them look at your policy and ask for suggestions, whether it's, do I have the right coverage for what I have in my house, or is there a way to save some money? I'm going on a fixed income, mm-hmm. and let them look at everything and really explain it to you. So, Dan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. You bet.
Hopefully we'll start doing these on the beach pretty soon. We're about due for a beach run.
Yeah, I'm ready for some warm weather.
We've
been through snow. We've been through tornadoes.
I know. Right. As long as we don't have to go through a hurricane this year, we'll be in good shape.
We're always hopeful of that.
We're going to head on out. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.